Welcome Capricorn and Capricorn cross watchers to your monthly love reading for February 2023. So I hope you guys are all doing well today. We're going to do what each of you is thinking and feeling about the relationship, and then actions or intentions towards each other and the connection. So welcome if you're new here, and of course thanks for stopping by my channel today. Hope you guys are having a great day. I do have some longer reads that come out on Thursdays, and then I have many weekly reads that come out every Sunday. Just going to focus on getting the cards out here. 1 second. Wow. Okay. Eight of Wands. Ooh, okay. Just want to make sure I picked that up correctly. Okay. And actions or intentions for Virgo. So we have the Knight of Voices, or that would be the Knight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So, here's the thing. We have the Eight of Wands upright as the situation between the two of you. So, I feel like to a certain extent this person has something that they want to say to you, but it's almost like they seem to... I feel like they don't know how to communicate it to you. It's like they know what they feel. And I almost want to say like they seem to know how to get what they want normally, but they don't know how to do that with you. And it's like they don't want to come in. They don't want to be getting into any type of conflict with you. And I feel like there seems to be something that is a little bit intense about with your emotion, or not emotion, but there seems to be an intensity about you that like they kind of can't crack through. It does feel like this person's intention is to do right by you, but I feel like it's like they don't know how to get close enough to you. So I think we'll start on your end here. We have the Nine of Voices, or this would be the Nine of Swords. So this is the Nightmare card, right? But, I mean, does she look like she's having a nightmare? Not particularly, right? I feel like you seem to have made a decision here. And I feel like we're going to actually read these two together because we have the Nine of Voices and the Priestess. And I feel with these that I feel like you're getting some sort of intuitive hit about the situation. I feel like you know that there's some sort of, from your perspective, it's like you know that there's some sort of betrayal, that there's something wrong. And it's almost like there's so much confusion going on here that I feel like you might actually be giving your mind a little break here, and you're just kind of allowing yourself to feel into the situation. You know what I mean? It's like, may not be the actual situation. But for example, it could be that you have spent so much time, or not so much time, but you spent enough time trying to figure this out intellectually, and it's like the pieces aren't fitting friggin' together. You know what I mean? So it's like that may be your first line of defense, I guess you could say. It's like that you look at it from a very logical perspective. And when that doesn't work, which I feel is not very often, I feel like the fact that it isn't working is actually kind of exhausting to you, because I feel like it's like you go down every avenue, you look at every path, every possibility to see I almost want to say, it's like you leave no stone unturned, right? And when that doesn't work, I feel like you kind of let your mind rest and you kind of let your heart tell you what is going on. And I feel like it's making you a little suspicious of this person. It's interesting. Why? Okay. Oh my gosh. Sorry, it's under the table. 1 second. There we go. Oh, okay. So we have the Nine of Pentacles reversed, and we do have the Nine of Pentacles upright over here. Excuse me. I feel like you may not really know what this person's intentions are. It could be that you're wondering if they're even single or not. I feel like this person might be somebody that can be a little, I'm not trying to be crappy to them, but it feels like they might be a little bit judgmental at times. It's like they might automatically assume that if you're acting in this way, that like, oh, well, it must be because of this or because of that, right? And that speaks to their own experience. It's like they don't give themselves a second to realize that actually there may be something else going on with you that they know nothing about. You know what I mean? It's like they assume that they know what they're talking about. It's almost like a touch of like overconfidence in their own. It's like a situation would happen with you, it triggers a memory of theirs when in a different situation, when, the motivation for the person they were in that situation with is A, B, or C, right? So it's like it's option A. So this person has a similar interaction with you, and I feel like the motivation is option C, but because their experience tells them that it's option A, it's option A. And it's like they seem to be very firm in that. You know what I mean? It's like they would need, and this isn't to say that they're requiring this of you, but it's almost like they're going to keep pushing the situation under that assumption that that's what's wrong, when I don't actually feel that that's what is wrong. I feel like you might not be sure if this is a new relationship. You might not be sure if you don't want to stay single. If you're in a relationship, I feel like it doesn't feel necessarily that you want to, end a connection with somebody here, but there does seem to be some conflict as to whether or not what the situation that you're in is really working for you. You know what I mean? It's almost this energy of like, would I be happier alone or am I happier now? And I feel like that's you just wanting to sort that out. You might be asking this person for some time. And I feel like they really want to talk to you. With this Page of Wands, it's almost like when this person gets good news, you're the first person they want to call. And if you have asked them for some time, it's like they can't call you. They can't tell you about it. And I feel like that's causing, it's almost like this person is somebody that gets, really jacked or really excited about stuff. And it kind of comes bubbling out of them. And I feel like sometimes it may be a little bit intense. It feels like there's someone that doesn't have a lot of control over their emotions. Sorry if you're cross watching, but it just feels like they kind of are on a bit of a roller coaster. It's like when they're sad, they're devastated. When they're happy, they're elated, they're ecstatic, right? So it's like they may be somebody that when they get news about like, oh, maybe this is going to happen, it's like they start thinking of all of the good things that could possibly come from that and start living in those realities rather than in the fact that actually it's just started. And I feel like it's almost like you don't really want to jerk your own chain like that. And not that this person is doing that, that's just how they experience life, right? But to you, I feel like it almost seems like they are, hold on for a second. I feel at times you might feel like this person doesn't really have their shiz together. And I feel like at times this person actually may feel that um, you need to kind of let go a little bit. Not saying that you do or you don't. It doesn't feel like it's coming from a like really crappy place necessarily. It just feels like to a certain extent that this person, it's like they seem to be a little bit much for you sometimes. And to this person, it doesn't necessarily feel like they think that you're, holding them back or anything, but they do feel like you are too restricted. For example, um, if you are an introvert, sometimes some extroverts, not all of them, of course, right? But some extroverts assume that introverts are introverted um, because of some sort of hurt, or like because something has happened in the past. When actually, it's just where they feel they want to be. You know what I mean? It's not related to this or related to that. It's just something that's kind of ingrained. And some extroverts may not understand that because they get so much energy from being around people. They may not understand that other people actually feel incredibly drained from that, even if they were having the best of times, right? So it may not be the actual situation, but it's that kind of energy. It's like the two of you are, I almost want to say it's like you operate with the same level of power, but it's like you might be in the same solar system, but you're on different planets, sort of thing. You know what I mean? It seems like it's very actually disconnected when it comes to how you do things. And what's interesting is I feel like the two of you actually may have the same goal, but it's like the way that you're going to get it seems to be very different. So your actions or intentions towards this person. Sorry, it's difficult to hold these. We have the moon and it's Muse of Voices, but that would be the King of Swords. So, like this. I actually really got to give it to you here because I feel like you are taking into consideration what this person is saying. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you will or will not stay with them, right? But I feel like you're smart enough to know that if somebody that knows you, to a certain extent is saying like, hey, this could make your life easier, um, you're not so much of a stonewall that you're not at least willing to look at it. And so I feel like, not that you're chasing that information because it doesn't feel like it's, number one on your priority list, but you are allowing yourself to look at something in a different way. And I feel like you're looking at the situation wondering like, well, do I need to be more free spirited? Do I need to kind of let this go or let that go, right? It doesn't feel like that's an experience you're going to be sharing with the class. And that's not because of, it doesn't feel like it's any particular reason other than you're sorting it out on your own right now. And I feel like to a certain extent, there's something that's doesn't feel quite right here. And not that anybody's doing anything that they shouldn't be doing, but it just feels like there's something about the connection that is, it just feels like, and this could be your energy, something feels like it's not quite right. And not that it's, that this person is being, doing anything that they're not supposed to. This is the energetics of it, so it may not be the actual situation. It's just to kind of describe the energy I'm picking up from you. It feels like while this person in some aspects may seem like a great match for you, I feel like some of their behaviors have come to light that the individual behaviors themselves may not be deal breakers, but I feel like you're trying to assess like, is the compilation or combination of their behaviors that you have a problem with, like, is that going to be a big enough ball of them to be a deal breaker for you? And I feel like you, number one, you want to take this decision really seriously. I'm not telling you to, I'm feeling like that's what you're doing. Because I feel like you know that it would hurt this person. I mean, obviously. And that isn't what you're here to do, right? You're just trying to figure out what's best for you. And I feel like to a certain extent, you may feel like you need some time to do that. So on this person's end, we actually have your card, the Devil, with the Nine of Pentacles. So they seem to feel like you're being not unreasonable, but they don't really see where you're coming from to a certain extent. I feel like they may see you as somebody that, it's almost like they may say something to you like, oh, you think too much. Just do it. You know what I mean? And this might sound strange, but they do seem to feel to a certain extent that you're about to have a bit of kind of a breakthrough. And I feel like they are smart enough to know that it's not like all of a sudden you're going to be as a, kind of a free bird like they are. But they seem to want to at least have enough of an impact on you that to them that you're more lighthearted. That doesn't mean that you aren't lighthearted, just from their perspective. It's like they seem to want you to feel like, almost like they want you to have a little bit more trust in the universe kind of deal. And they seem to feel that it's almost like they may believe so wholeheartedly that all they have to do is keep doing what they're doing and it's all going to fall into place. That it's like they're living in the reality of it already having happened without having their actions really match what needs to be done to make it happen. It's like they have manifesting a little bit skewed. Like, of course, you're supposed to live in the energy of already having it, but then you still have to take the actions to get it, right? And they seem to feel that sometimes when they want to bring things up with you, that it turns into an argument. And that's not a statement on you or a statement on them. It's just they don't want to be misunderstood. I feel like they may feel misunderstood a lot of the time. I feel like to a certain extent they may feel that you are a bit dismissive of them. That you, hold on. It's like they know that you respect them, but they feel you're a little hard on them sometimes. It's like to them, let's say, for example, they want to go make snow angels outside. Obviously, up north here. They want to go make snow angels outside, but they're going to go out with like shorts and a t-shirt on, right? So I feel like you're looking at them like, no, we're not. That's a really bad idea. And I feel like they're over here like, oh, just live a little. So they kind of feel like you are a bit dismissive of them sometimes. And I feel like, obviously doing a snow angel in shorts and a t-shirt is not going to make any, is not going to be a fun experience for everybody. I know there's people that do the polar dips or whatever, but anyway, I'm rambling. Virgo, oh no, Capricorn. Sorry, I apologize, Capricorn. What I'm feeling here is that I feel like to a certain extent you may feel that this person's too much of a free bird. And I feel like you know that, but it's almost like you kind of don't want it to be that. And I feel like you may be kind of looking for signs or signals from this person that's not going to be a problem. You know what I mean? That they're going to kind of not level up necessarily, but I feel like you're kind of hoping for this person to see the situation from your perspective and almost kind of like settle down a little bit. And I'm not so sure that they're going to. And I feel like the decision that you want to make, the writing's on the wall. I feel like you already know what it is. It's like you just want to be sure. You just want to be 100% sure before you make this decision. Hold on for a second. So this is a really interesting energy. We have the Eight of Wands and the Five of Swords reversed with the Page of Wands upright. So I feel with this here that there does seem to be some sort of like awakening coming for this person. Oh gosh, I hope that it's not... I hope that it's not this. But it's the energetics of the situation, but it's like this person might have a very rude awakening. It's almost the energy of like somebody that usually is very chatty, something's going to happen to make them not want to talk anymore. And it's like even they may be taken by surprise. I feel like in the past they may have been a bit chatty and kind of just not talked incessantly, of course, but they were chatty, they were good at making conversation, you know what I mean? And I feel like to a certain extent they don't feel the drive to do that anymore. It's like they're too internal. And I feel like there may be that spark of like of them wanting to make conversation, but I feel like as soon as they do, it's almost like they seem to like, no, I remember, and they almost kind of revert back to this almost robotic, like not really looking at people and not really talking to people, not really wanting to relate to anybody. So here's what sucks. Um, you may know that, you may not, but I actually feel that this person is suffering more than you might realize, and I feel like they're not communicating that to you at all. It's like it's the kind of person that it's almost like their house is on fire, but instead of dealing with that, it's like they're trying to ignore it. They don't want you to see it, and they're inviting you over to their house for tea next week. You know what I mean? And I mean, you may know that about them, you may not, but I feel like this person is actually, it's like they're walking over hot coals right now. I feel like this energy of them, it's almost like they seem to want to encourage you to be free because they feel like their freedom is either taken away or it's about to be. So it's like they're trying to get you to a place to where you feel free enough so that um, if they have to go, it's like they want to know that you'll experience life in a really full way. So they might be taking it to a little bit of an extreme. And I feel like you may be chalking up that extreme to like they're just being unreasonable because life is about to change. Um, but it's not. It feels like they're trying to show you everything or kind of teach you everything that they can before this kind of like whatever's being foreboded here, if that's a word. Um, but whatever this kind of forbidding energy is, it's like they just want to live in that energy that feels free as long as they can. So it could be for some people that it's like maybe this person is having to grow up and they're having to step into full blown adulthood, and it's like they just want to have that last um, kick at the can. I want to say like that last kind of little bit of, this is how I'm seeing it. So this may not be how you relate to this kind of youthful stuff, but like going out to parties and clubs and bars and meeting people and just kind of really out there and socializing and that sort of thing. And I feel to a certain extent that this person kind of wants to stay in that space, but I feel like the adult in them is about to rise here. And I feel like it's actually been born, like, you may already know this, but this person has been through it. I feel like they've had to, do the phoenix thing and be burnt to ash a lot, a lot, a lot. And I feel like to a certain extent, that may be why they have a bit of a like a flighty energy. It's almost like if they're this horse here, I feel like this person, it's like if they put I was gonna say paw, their hoof on like a hot rock or hot sand, it's like they're not taking another step in the other direction. They're gonna bolt, right? Because they've been burned. And I actually feel that when this person breaks through whatever's going on with them, they're actually going to feel more free then than they do now, because I feel like they seem to be kind of almost like caught in their own cage here. It's this energy of, it's like because they feel like they're losing something, they're chasing it, they're trying to get as much out of it as they can. It's like, it doesn't feel like it's consuming their life or anything, but it is. It's like instead of just allowing life to be what it is and happen as it is and actually enjoy that time, it's like because they're trying to get too much out of it, it's like they're cramming so much stuff into it that it's like this whirlwind, this flurry of motion, and it's like they're actually doing so much that they're not going to remember half of it, because they're not having this like emotional sort of connection where it's like they're out and they feel really good. They're enjoying the people they're with, they're accomplishing a goal, they're doing this, they're doing that. It's like they're just trying to, for example, it's like this person needs to save, you know, for a vehicle, but in the meantime, they're spending all of the money that they could be saving for a vehicle on Ubers. You know what I mean? So it's very short-term gratification, when the reason that it's like they feel like they're losing it is because that's not what gratifies them anymore. That's not what's giving them, I want to say like that dopamine, serotonin rush, right? What actually does that is seems to be more this slow and steady progress. It's like they're just trying to, I feel like to a certain extent, they don't want to let it go. It's like life is going to change for them. But I actually feel that it's like they're really coming into their own. There's something here where it's like they're rising like that phoenix out of the ashes, but they're going to rise up and be more powerful than they were when they were kind of running around trying to fill whatever hole they've got going on. So I think we will pull a card for, I'm going to put to expect or to look for here for Capricorn. Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. All right. So we have the Strength card and the Five of Pentacles here. I'm not going to tell you what to do, because at the end of the day, this is your life. This is your decision, and you are the one that will have to live with the outcome of your own decisions. I'm not so sure that this person will be able to prove to you that they are a changed person. And it's not actually that they can't prove it to you. I feel like you might not be willing to accept the proof. It's just the energetics of the situation, so it may not be the actual situation, but it's almost like you make up your mind to walk away. And once that decision is made, it's like there's nothing that's going to change your mind. Even if it's like this person may have, before you made that decision, this person may have had proof to kind of sway you the other way. But it's like, but once the decision is made, it's almost like the train is in motion. It can't be stopped now. You know what I mean? You can't just pull that thing and everything stops. It's like once the wheels are in motion, it's almost like, for example, if you're letting go of the actual relationship or an element of it, or it's like there's a certain investment that you've made here, like an emotional investment, once you decide that that's off, it's off. And, you know, this person, if they want to, they're going to have a heck of a time. It's like, I almost want to say the best thing that they can do to kind of earn that back or kind of demonstrate it to you is to not, you know what I mean? It's like any of that kind of chasing, trying to prove it to you sort of energy. And like, it just proves to you that they're still in this the previous energy, because it's like your boss energy is going to need to meet their boss energy for you to even kind of sort of consider changing your mind once you have made your decision. So I think I'll leave it there, Capricorn. If this reading resonated, I hope that it was helpful and brought you some clarity. If you would like a private reading with me, my email is below in the description box, and we'll see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.